private property. That's public property.
No one's
That's
blocking
private
the doorway.
property.
blocking the
That's
doorway.
public. All I'm asking is if you take it out to the public.
Right now. If you need to call the police, call the police.
Just
Nobody
take it
is
out to the
blocking-
public property.
Nobody
That's
is
fine.
blocking the door. And you have no sign here in the curtilage. That's called curtilage.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know
See
a
the
lawyer,
property line
go get a lawyer.
Listen, you see the
There
property
is
line
nothing
here?
here demonstrating that that's
There
the
is.
property line.
You
What?
see the difference in the bricks, the way it's laid
Hey,
out?
that's
the property
bullshit. I'll
line.
take that to court anytime.
Please take it to court.
I will. Call the police. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's
Look,
get it going now.
I know you all have nothing
Now.
better to do because
Either
you're
do that or
retired
quit being
than
a
to
thug.
stand in front of a
Go
doorway,
back, have lunch,
passing out
enjoy
flyers
the
and
afternoon.
harassing people
Enjoy
because
the
you're
afternoon
retired.
or call the police.
Please take it out to the city property. That's all I'm asking.
Call the police
I've
again.
got better things to do in my life than stand in
I don't
the
think
doorway.
so. I don't
That's
think
not
so.
right.
This is making your day.
You're harassing people.
This is
That's
making your day.
Justify it in your own mind any way you want to, but you're harassing people.
We have people who will say what the law is. If you buy it, that's the law. The law is not what they say. It's what we write down and we decide as a group of citizens.
There was a cop here a few minutes ago, and he told us that we shouldn't stand on that pad. But we were within our rights to be here on the sidewalk with the signs.
Why do you think you're so afraid of these signs?
I have no idea. I think it must be coming from some of the people that are against, that want to go for hedge funds. It must be them. I don't believe, I've never seen this before here. We've been here many times.
I've been here many times too.
I know.
This is like bizarre. You know, a couple of people out. You know,
I'm not surprised.
I mean, they're terrified. You know, these.
We'll see when we
especially-
get inside and
Yeah, that's right.
which is our right as well.
Exactly.
See how they react.
And
Yeah.
there is no sign here that says that this belongs to anybody. He says that the bricks are different. What does that mean? Is this a secret sign?
I don't
Is this a
know.
Masonic temple that we have to have a secret little twitch with our fingers and the way we put our feet?
It's the Illuminati.
This is what they would like us to believe. But we have the power, and if there's another lawyer, we're stronger. If there's another citizen out here, we're stronger. And we've got to get back. Remember Occupy.
Patrick Manette Shaw. I'm a retiree. I worked for the city for 16 years. We're trying to stop the retirement election for a seat on the board to
Smoke in front of the doorway. You're gonna have to move it out
to
15 feet away from the door.
to prevent police and fire from taking over all 3 elected seats on the board. It's really critical that city employees and retirees, particularly the miscellaneous ones, hunt down their ballots mailed to their home and make sure they return them before February 3rd. There's a process. If you've misplaced your ballot or didn't get one, you can call the elections department and request a replacement ballot. It's really critical that we get as many people as possible to return those ballots.
And what would happen if 25% of our pension money went into hedges? What would that mean potentially for workers?
I do not even want to think about that. I'm afraid if there's massive losses from hedge fund investments, that our fully funded status will drop far below where it is now. It's in relatively good health, and we will never get supplemental COLAs until the fund gets to be 100% fully funded. So investing in hedge funds almost guarantees that we will never get those supplemental COLAs unless we can get the fully funded status back up to 100%.
And why is the San Francisco Police Officers Association so interested in getting another cop on the pension board when they have already one cop and a fireman?
Because Al Casciato is nothing more than a rubber stamp. A confidential source reached out to me last week and said that they were called during an off-site board retreat that retired police captain Casciato complained to the staff that the briefing materials that they read for their meeting packets is too burdensome, and he wanted them to cut back the amount of reading he was required to do before meetings. I'm going, this is not the guy I want analyzing investments and deciding just to be a rubber stamp to the first comp that's already on the board.
And the idea that you should have 2 policemen and a fireman and no miscellaneous employees on the pension board, how does that fit with you?
It fits really poorly. The 1937 Counties Act has been around for 80 years. It requires all of the county retirement systems, the 20 county retirement systems in the State Association of County Retirement Systems, to set aside 2 seats for miscellaneous or general members. That would be secretaries, bus drivers, doctors, nurses, everybody else other than police and fire. And they have to have 2 seats for the miscellaneous and only 1 seat for public safety. Some of the jurisdictions, Marin County's retirement system actually has 2 miscellaneous and 2 seats for police and fire. But what's really interesting is that only miscellaneous people can vote in the miscellaneous election. In other words, you can't have cops trying to influence the vote for the miscellaneous seats. Similarly, miscellaneous people cannot vote for the police seats. Current city employees or current county employees cannot vote for the retiree seats. And we just do not have parity and equity with other jurisdictions because we are not one of those 1937 counties. There are reliable reports that Al Casciato mentioned at a Veterans Police Officer Association, the VPOA meeting, that he's been given $185,000 towards buying this seat on the table. That is obscene because the campaign contributions for candidates to the retirement board do not report their campaign finance disclosures to the Ethics Commission. We have no way of knowing how much he's actually raised and what he has spent it on.
So in other words, hedge fund operators could be giving money for candidates, and these candidates will then vote to give money to them of the pension money of the city and county employees and retirees.
That's right, because the hedge fund managers, if you go to Cascado's website, it said, we're accepting campaign donations. You can mail it to 150 Post Street, Suite 405. That turns out to be lawyer Jim Sutton's offices. And so once a hedge fund manager makes a donation to Jim Sutton for Al Casciato, it's considered attorney-client privilege, and there's no way that we can find out how much money he's raised. It's impossible. We will never know. And what we need to do is to encourage the Board of Supervisors to change election law in San Francisco and make these people running for the retirement board report their campaign contributions so that it's transparent.
Kay Walker, and I was a city employee for over 20 years, social worker, and a member of the labor movement as an officer in SEIU. Fought top-down unionism. This comes into play in this situation in that the same unions that took away our right to get the COLAs without a lot of difficulty are the same people that are pushing for Al Casciato. In fact, they asked him to run according to reports that are out there. it's like they're coalescing again against, not for the workforce, not for the members, but for whatever their advantages are. It's a power struggle. They want Herb Meiberger out, and as Patrick said, he's the only one that really is part of the miscellaneous group and who has been very good in representing everyone but us. I don't understand why it's so important to them to have 3 safety officers. And as Patrick said, you don't see this in other jurisdictions. And in another thing that on the health board, our group, in CCSF, fought hard to get 1 safety officer. The opposite thing was happening there, and they made sure that a safety officer was elected on the board. They're doing the opposite. They want miscellaneous out. And that is, Herb is our only chance. He's the only one that has the expertise that we need. And in these times, with this changing politic, and, with the stock market is going to get very wonky after a while. It's been predicted, a lot of it has to do with global politics. We need an expert. We don't need a policeman, another policeman. I mean, I'm going in there, I'm a member of this, I want more transparency. Hedge funds are not that. And they also are like a gambling casino.
My name is Sylvia Alvarez Lynch, and I'm going to be a retired person in 3 years if we still have money in our pension fund, hoping that Herb Meiberger will be reelected to the board to represent the 87% of the pension membership as a miscellaneous person, versus Al Casiato, who is drawing $208,000 a year as a retired SFPD cop who wants to unseat Herb Meiberger. He has been asked to stop his campaign, which is very well funded and managed by Jim Sutton.
And who is Jim Sutton?
He's a corporate shill lawyer who only works for the rich, let's just put it that way. And
so do the rich have an incentive in participating in this election?
Of course they do. If they're successful of getting Al Casiato as a shill to vote to invest $250 million of our pension funds into hedge funds, the only people I see that will really benefit would be the financial institutions that are being kept secret from us, as far as who the hedge fund manager is, who will be paid $1 million a year to handle hedge funds, which we will never recoup.
And that comes out of the pension fund.
That's right. That's our money that's going to be wasted on a hedge fund manager who may or may not work in our to increase our pension fund. I basically feel like Warren Buffett said, do not put pension funds into hedge funds. It's like going to Las Vegas and gambling it away.
And these people have a lot of money and they want to gamble with our money.
Exactly. I mean, look at Wendy Paskin Jordan. She'll be the 4th vote to vote for hedge funds. She's a financial person. None of her clients, she never invests any of her clients' monies into hedge funds. She's been recorded. And, of course, Joe Driscoll, a firefighter, Brian Stansberry, another San Francisco police officer. All 3 of them have been very adamant about going forward with hedge fund investments. Herb Meiberger is a thorn in their side. He asks the critical questions: why? How? They don't like that. They just want to rubber stamp it. And with Al Casiato, who really has a problem reading briefings, by the way, in the past of the meeting agenda and substantiating documents, he would be the 4th vote. And so they would have controlling interest over 87% of the retirement pension fund membership, the miscellaneous. So it's a matter of fair representation. And the other question I have is why Al Casiato, in all his campaign literature, never states that he's a retired San Francisco police officer of 43 years. That's very suspicious.
Shouldn't they be proud of their service to the city and county of San Francisco?
I would think so. Not every police officer or fire person is a bad person. I certainly would, especially for 43 years.
But all this campaign literature, they don't even mention that. Do you find that strange?
Very strange and suspicious. I think they're trying to hoodwink the city worker and tell them, yes, you don't need a miscellaneous representative. You need another police officer to work for your interests. Not. In fact, the police officers in negotiations said they would help the trades out and others increase their retirement benefit percentage to 3% if the trades and the San Francisco Labor Council will let them go first. And they did. They got the 3%. And they never once helped any other union achieve the same increase in retirement. But they got theirs, and they will always get theirs. Because after 9/11, it seems like even though they weren't in New York, they made gravy, and they continue to do so.
Richard Hack, I'm a retired city worker. I've worked in various departments. And I'm concerned about this because the modest pension I get every month is very helpful to me. And these guys are putting a healthy fund in danger by investing in hedge funds. It's the first investment whose details won't be made public. And the POA is in a power grab. They and Fire would have 4 of the 7 votes, as we know, if they won this election and bumped Herb Meiberger, who is a watchdog and a protector of all the workers. Another thing, I think we all can pretty much agree that the POA seems to believe its members never do anything wrong. So why a self-serving group like that should have control of the retirement system is a bad idea for the city.
Are you concerned? I mean, 25% is a lot of money to put in hedge funds that could really adversely affect the city retirees and the pension system?
Yeah, I think it could because it's done that. It's done that in many other cities. We don't have no assurance that this is different. And we recently had a story about the Dallas Retirement Fund being savaged and perhaps destroyed by police officers taking out up to $1 million in lump sums when they retired. So that I think there's a great deal of danger. It's very secretive and it's a very self-serving. I think that people on the board would have a definite interest in making professional connections with some of these hedge fund billionaires, and there's no way around that. Hedge funds are really down these days, and they're the only people I think in the world who want to invest our pension money in it.